Hello and welcome to the Unit 4 Section 4 video on graphing lines. So we're going to graph lines in this section using a form called the slope-intercept form. So slope-intercept form is going to be y equals mx plus b. Now don't worry, we're going to go over what these letters all mean, okay? But that's what the form is going to look like. M represents the slope, and we briefly went over that in the last section. Slope, of course, is going to be your rise over your run. The coefficient of x when the equation is solved for y, okay? That is where you're going to find your slope. It is the coefficient, meaning the number in front of your x, when y is by itself. B represents your y-intercept. And what is a y-intercept? Well, it's exactly what you would think it is. It is where the line crosses the y-axis. It's where it intercepts the y-axis. So over here in this equation, we have y equals mx plus b. M is 3/5. That's our number in front of x, so that is our slope. And our y-intercept is our b, which is the number over here, which is 2. So let's go over a few steps for graphing. First, you're going to label the y-intercept. And after you label the y-intercept, you're going to plot this on the y-axis. So let's do that here. Our y-intercept is 3. Okay, so b equals 3. So we're going to go on the y-axis and we're going to plot our y-intercept. Then we're going to identify the slope, and we're going to label the directions. So our slope here is -1/2. So positive movements are up and to the right. Negative movements are down and to the left. Starting from the y-intercept, we are going to use the slope to plot a second point. You must use both directions before plotting a point. So our slope is -1/2, so that means we go down 1 and to the right 2. And then we're going to plot our next point. And we are going to continue this from this point, down 1 and to the right 2. And you can continue it all the way to the edge of the graph. Now, if the slope is not a fraction, you're going to make it a fraction by putting a 1 under the number. If you cannot fit the slope on a graph, then you're going to use the opposite directions. And I'm going to demonstrate that here. You're going to use the opposite directions for both the rise and the run. So when we plotted our points here, we went down and to the right. Well, if we couldn't go down to the right because the graph would run out, we would go up and to the left, the opposite of both directions, up and to the left. Once you have your points plotted, then you can draw your line. So I'm going to draw a line going through these points like this. Oh, not like that. Like this. And I strongly encourage that you use a ruler or some sort of straight edge to help you with plotting your lines so that you look straight and nice and neat. All right, so now that we've done one example, let's do a few more examples just to kind of get used to how this works. Because anything you want to get good at, you have to practice. So let's take a look at number 2 here. Our slope is 5/2, and our y-intercept is 4. So our y-intercept's 4, we're going to plot that, and then from that point, we can do our rise, which is 5, but we can't go up 5, so we're going to have to use the opposite directions. we're going to have to go down 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and left 2, 1, 2. Down 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and left 2. And we have a point there as well. And I'm going to draw my line through my points like that. Again, using a straight edge will help you with that. For this one, our slope is 2, and our run, or I should say our y-intercept, is -1. Because notice we have -1 here, so you have to include that minus as part of your negative. So we're going to plot our y-intercept. Now, we have just 2 here. That's like saying 2 over 1. So our rise is going to be 2, and our run is going to be 1. Rise of 2, run of 1. Rise of 2, run of 1. And we can go the opposite way. Down 2, left 1. Down 2, left 1. And then from here, we can plot our line. Like so. For number 4, our slope is -4/3, but you notice that we don't have a number out here where our y-intercept would be. When that's the case, our y-intercept is going to be 0. So our y-intercept being 0, that's going to be right at the origin. And we're going to do our slope, which is -4/3, so let's go down 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and to the right 1. We can also go up 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and to the left 1. And from here we can plot our line. For number 5, our slope is -3, which again is like -3 over 1. Our y-intercept also -3. So we're going to plot -3 on the graph. And then we're going to do our slope of -3, 1. So down 3, 1, 2, 3, and to the right 1. We can also go up 3 and to the left 1. Up 3 to the left 1. Up 3 to the left 1. And we'll use those points to plot our line. Now remember, you can always check to make sure your line's going in the right direction by looking at your slope. In both of these examples, our slope is negative, so our line should be decreasing from left to right, and that is what we have here. Our line is decreasing. Let's go back to number 4 here, because I just noticed that I made an error. Our slope was not what I said it was. It was not 4 over 1, it was actually 4 over 3. So let me correct that. Mistakes happen, and that's an important thing to remember when you're doing math, is that mistakes do happen. And it's catching the mistakes that's the important part. So let's go back and let's fix this. So we have our point at 0. Okay, our y-intercept 0. We go down 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and to the right 3, not 1. We can also go up 4 and to the left 3. Again, not 1. And now we're going to draw our line. So going through those points, and your line would be about there. Okay, now let's go on to number 6 here. So number 6, our slope is 1, and our y-intercept is -1. So our slope is 1, and our y-intercept is -1. So our y-intercept gets plotted first, and our slope is 1, which is the same as saying 1 over 1. So our rise is 1, our run is 1. our rise is 1, our run is 1. Up 1, right 1, up 1, right 1. You can also go down 1, left 1, down 1, left 1, down 1, left 1. I think you kind of see where the pattern is on this one. We're basically going to draw diagonally through the grid lines to achieve this line. All right, last example. Our slope here is 6. Our y-intercept is -5. So let's go to -5 for our y-intercept, and let's do our slope. 6 is the same as 6 over 1, so we're going to go up 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and to the right 1. Up 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 would be up here, to the right 1 would be there. Not quite on the graph, but we can use the 2 points. Set your ruler, use the 2 points that you have to draw your line. And because our slope is a fairly big number at 6, we are going to have a pretty steep line. All right, so that is it for this section on graphing lines, graphing our linear functions. We used slope-intercept form to achieve this. Coming up in the next section, we're going to talk about another form that we can use to graph lines, and that is called point-slope form.